All right. So Zoom likes to play tricks on me sometimes.
Yeah, okay, now I can hear you.
Yes, Zoom likes to play tricks on me. So welcome, guys. Thank you so much for showing up, GD and Michael. I'm glad you guys are tuning in today. Michael, I'm not sure if I've seen you on the Zooms yet. Maybe you've been on Tuesday Tech Help that Mike or that Matt does, but we are going live every single week, once a week, answering any questions, direct to seller questions, wholesaling questions. GD's got a question right now about pad split that we're about to talk about. The purpose of these calls is to bring your deals, bring your troubles, and what I want you guys to do is start taking actionable steps after we leave these Zooms because I can help you out, but taking action is the most important part. So we're actually going to dive right into this. GD, let's talk about this deal that you have that you want to talk about. I think it's a pad split. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the property I want to convert in the past split.
Okay.
It's in the Orange City, so
Okay.
I'm not sure is that too far.
Well,
Um,
believe it or not, so I don't know if you remember Andrew. He was on the Zoom last week and he
yeah.
actually is doing a property in Orange City right now. So,
Really? Wow.
y- yeah, so I'll be honest with for me, I don't like that market personally. I prefer markets that are either metro markets or good
Mm,
secondary markets that are just outside of metro markets. So I'll make an example. Even though we live in Orlando, I would still buy homes in Davenport, Kissimmee area because again, that's where Disney World is and it's still close to Orlando. Same
yeah.
thing with like a property that I'm doing right now. I know you didn't get to make it, but this week I did a pad split walkthrough. And
Yeah, I couldn't. I was really sick.
no, it's okay. I hope you feel better. But a lot of the students came that are in this community and in the Subto community. They actually came to the pad split walkthrough. That property's in Palm Coast. That's a secondary market. So what I'm looking at, just so you know, when I go and I look at like places like on best.net, I want to know data. So for instance, this is the reason why I choose certain markets and why I don't choose certain markets. One
Mm.
of my criteria is the market has to have over 100,000 people living there. Okay.
How many people?
Over 100,000, 100,000 or more. Okay. People have to,
Over 100,000.
yes, correct. So I want to know that there are bodies, there are human beings living in that area because my likelihood of me renting my place out is a lot more likely. So my risk is a lot lower. So
Yeah.
100,000 is important. Another thing that I'm looking at is I Google the top employers in that market. So I don't like to talk about hypotheticals. So let me give you a real life example. The Palm Coast property, the reason why I took it down, and this is not a market you hear about a lot, is because there's over 100,000 people that live in that market. Two, there's over 45,000 single family homes in that market. Three, the biggest employers in that market are the school board, Publix, the hospitals, and it's about to be BJ's because they're building a BJ's, which is the same thing as Costco, right? So I'm looking at the overall market growth and what basic jobs are actually fueling the buyer avatar or the member avatar that's going to be booking my property. Okay. So another thing I want to mention is I'm the only property in that whole entire market on pad split. So I'm able to corner the market. I'm able to charge a small premium when I'm doing this in that market because there's no other competitors, right? So make sure that you're looking at these data points and you can get these data points very easily. Bestplaces.net, bestplaces.net. Type in the market and then go click the real estate button and it's going to tell you a bunch of different data. You can also go to the censusbureau.com. Census Bureau, those people who call you all the time and ask you what you do for a living, how many people live in your household. Their job is to gather data for the government, right? So you can go on those sites as well to see average age, ethnicity in the area. You can look all this simple data up. But what I really care about is I care about if there's 100,000 residents that live in that market, is how many single family homes are in that market. So there's 45,000. And then I want to know the biggest employers in that market. So you see how these are super important little metrics that I'm looking at, but these are my drivers to why I am getting and buying into certain markets. Because obviously, like I'm in the Jacksonville market, I'm in Orlando, and then I have the Palm Coast market. So these are super important metrics to me. So make sure you're looking these up. But go ahead and tell me a little bit more about that property.
Okay, so this one is off market.
Okay.
It's a Subto deal.
Okay.
So 3 bedroom, 2 baths, 1957 square footage.
Okay.
But tenants there right now.
Okay. When's the lease expire?
The end of May, so the closing date is May 29th.
Okay.
So the entry fee is 25K.
Okay.
And then the cash to seller is 10K. Assignment fee is 15K. So it's 25K.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so for that particular property, the only thing I tell you right now, what I'm hearing that I don't like about it is just it's in Orange City. And it just, really, how much is going on in there? It's the boonies.
That's it. That's it. I checked the area. It's just dead.
Exactly. So you're probably not going to want to put a pad split in that area because you're going to have issues having your occupancy rate be at least 80, 90%,
Yeah.
right? That's the goal, right? 100% is the goal, but you want to run your numbers 80, 90%. Are you still profitable?
Yeah.
Now, what you can do is, and this is not to confuse you, you can do either A, move on from that property and or wholesale it to someone else. I'm not sure if you're direct.
No, that's not mine. It's
It's not yours.
from a
Okay.
wholesaler. Yeah.
Okay. Then I would just move on because right now what you're trying to do is you're trying to focus on one exit strategy. Now, for someone like me, remember, I have different buckets. I have multiple different buckets of exit strategies, and I understand multiple buckets at a very high level. So I could probably look at it and say, okay, I can do other things with it, right? Could it be a wraparound mortgage? Could it be a pad split? Could it be an Airbnb? Could it be? I'm just using those as examples. But I know for you, to not confuse you, make sure you're just focusing on your buy box and focusing and honing in on the pad split exit strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I have. And so what else you need to know?
No, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm just telling you right now, I wouldn't do pad split for that.
Okay, in the Orange
That's
City.
all I need. Yeah. I mean, there's no point of even continuing the conversation. Another thing you need to check as well. I'm not even sure if they're even marketing in that area. Now, remember, guys.
Yeah, they have.
Okay. Remember this, guys. A lot of people get confused and they say, oh, well, why don't you just do co-living? Well, pad split is co-living. It's co-living. Now, you don't need pad split. You can rent those bedrooms out entirely by yourself. You just need to ask yourself, do you really want to curate these members, right? Do you want to spend all this time curating members per bedroom? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And so what I would do is, just so you don't disregard it entirely, look up those statistics on those sites that I have. And then what I want you to do as well is that property, is it close to the college, Stetson University?
No, that's in the land, right?
Yeah, that's in DeLand, but you're
Yeah,
just
I'm just like, maybe this one will be closer to, the Fish Memorial
yeah,
Hospital,
yeah,
but it's still far away.
yeah. So actually, believe it or not, Andrew, who just popped on here, he lives in Orange City. He lives in Orange City, so he can tell you if
Oh,
it's a better area or not. Andrew, what do you think about doing a pad split in Orange City?
I mean, that's the word I was walking you through one the other day. We're gonna end up doing a wrap on that one, but I think it's gonna be decent. How many rooms would it end up being?
How many rooms is it going to be? GD, how many rooms is it going to be?
3 bedroom, 2 baths, and then the rate is 4.75.
Yeah, but
Okay.
how many rooms can you convert the floor plan into?
The floor plan?
The floor
Can you
plan.
make it like 7 bedrooms? Is that your plan?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you have a picture of the floor plan?
No, I asked, actually, she's the agent, but this is her off-market listing. And she's very slow, like she's not replying to me.
She's not replying to you. Okay.
Yeah, and then she just replied not long ago, said, oh, we can go walk through. But I
Got it.
don't want to drive so far away to
So
look at something.
is this deal, I wouldn't even drive there just yet. Is the deal locked up with the wholesaler or anyone yet?
With
No?
her.
The realtor has it locked up on terms, or she's just saying that the seller's open to terms?
No, she locked up with the partner. That's what she's saying.
So she has it under contract
Well,
on
yeah,
two, and she's willing to sell it to you.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Off market, yeah.
Yeah. So ask her for some pictures and videos and see how many rooms you can get out of it. So let me ask you this, Andrew. What is in the area as far as drivers, like basic job growth,
Yeah.
huge employers? What in Orange City would you say would be a driver for her to have members and, a 90 to 100% occupancy rate? Obviously, we all want 100%, but we know that
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't happen.
You've got the
Hospital?
hospital. You
Yeah.
got the hospital right there. You've got a ton of restaurant employees. Like you've got Publix, you've got Walmart, you've got all the like Olive Gardens and Chili's, Lowe's, Home Depot,
Yeah.
Cool.
all sorts of that stuff right around right there, depending on what part of Orange City it's in. But
Yeah,
Orange
but
City
this,
also has a
yeah.
lot of public transportation.
Yeah. How many residents are in Orange City? Do you know?
I don't,
Yeah.
not off the top of my head.
So GD, just look up this information, and then what I will do as well is I'll put you in touch with Ray Nunez. He's one of the representatives with Pad Split. He can help you out evaluate that area so you can make a sound investment on that area. Me personally, I'm not a fan of that market. I don't invest in those markets, but you can look at it and see if it will fit your portfolio and see if it would be,
Yeah. Well, to
I
me,
even had a
it's too far.
I had an onboarding call when you sign up for the host view and everything on Pad Split, and they did a call today. I believe it was Emmanuel, and he was basically saying like, yeah, Orange City's we're just not there numbers wise yet, or having enough stats for them to really give you any info on it.
Okay.
So
there you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But
Yeah.
There you go.
I also don't mind doing a walkthrough for you if it's close. I mean, it's literally where I am.
So
So
okay, he lives in Orange City. So this is the reason why I'm asking him. So what he's saying, GD, is they don't have enough data to back up Orange City as a good market or a bad market. So you have to ask yourself. And what I would do is if you're willing to take the risk and you want to put it on as a pad split and be the guinea pig, you can do that, but you need to have a second exit strategy, right? And that's for every deal. That just doesn't mean just this one deal. You see what I'm
It's
saying?
close to the Blue Spring
Next to Blue
State
Spring.
Blue
Park.
Springs Villas.
Yeah.
It's in the Blue Springs Villas or by Blue Springs State Park down
State
French.
Park. State Park.
Gotcha. Okay. The Blue Springs Villas wouldn't allow it.
No
Yeah.
HOA, right?
So there's
GD, no HOA?
No HOA. And it's 1 acre land.
there's only one listing in Orange City. It looks like there's like a B&B kind of place that listed themselves on there, but it's not available,
Yes.
and they have themselves listed as like 460 something.
Yes, I
And
saw
so-
yesterday. Yes.
So there's zero data for Orange City.
No.
If you get into like DeLand and Deltona seems like it'd be really great.
Right.
And it's the only one I clicked on that had 100% occupancy rate around us.
Right.
Was the lower side of Deltona, but even DeLand was like 60% occupancy because there's only like 12.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
one of my criterias, and I don't know if you remember this, Andrew, when I did the walkthrough the other day on the Pad Split property that I took down, one of my criterias, and this is part of my buy box, I don't invest in markets that have less than 100,000 residents in it, right? So like I want 100,000 people to live in that market or more. I know how many single families are in the market that I invest into as well. Like the Palm Coast market, 45,000 single family homes in there. I'm also paying attention to what are the biggest employers, the school zone or school board, Publix, Walmart's, BJ's that's coming up, Avid Health as well. These are some of the biggest drivers for employment in that market. So a lot of my members are going to come from these employers. So if this fits and this is for secondary markets, guys, as well. Obviously, when I invest in the Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, I know it already meets all this criteria, but it's still important to know who are the biggest drivers for employers, A, and then B, if I'm going into a secondary market like Palm Coast, Melbourne, Lakeland, these type of markets, I want to know even further on the data on those metrics.
Orange City says it has 17,000.
You're breaking up. I don't know what you said.
Orange City says it has 17,000 people, but that's just in the Orange City area. Then you've got Deltona and all around it, but that's not enough to support it.
No,
Yeah.
it's
So it's
just
up
not
to you.
enough
Can you hear me?
population.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I heard what you said.
It's not enough population.
Yeah, it's not enough. So I would skip it and move on and focus on another property. Remember, GD, you need to create that buy box and hone in, because if this was part of your buy box, let's say you had major metro markets in your buy box, you would have automatically eliminated from even looking at this. Because remember, your time is
Yeah,
valuable.
this is my buy box, but that's not in
Orange
the
City's in your buy
location.
box?
No, not Orange City.
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, in your buy box, you need to hone in on what areas you want to be.
Yeah.
You need to add this into your buy box, because remember, if you're spending all this time evaluating it, talking to this realtor, it's just a waste of time,
Yeah.
Time is money.
It's not a lot of property. I couldn't find any.
Yeah.
Like a wholesaler just always sending me it's not according to my buy box. So I send in my buy box, but they send me something like different.
Yeah, of course, because they don't care. They just
Did you
want
say
to.
this is?
Yeah.
Did you say this is the one that's on 1 acre?
Yeah. 1 acre.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
You know it.
it
You
doesn't
know
work
which
for
one.
pad split.
Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers don't pan out for it, even if it were decent occupancy wise.
Yeah. I know it's kind of like I
It
know
would
that
potentially
I
be a
just like
decent
to,
wrap, but
yeah. Wrap, eh? You think wrap will
yeah,
work?
Yeah.
I think wrap works on a lot of things with decent anything that has a good decent rate, and you can put the price up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. So just sell as
Yeah,
a
if it's the
homesteader.
same, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're looking for a homestead buyer at that point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
Cool.
the price points, right, is 370K. So I did a comping is pretty good, accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just the location, too bad is there. Otherwise, it's good pass split size,
Yeah.
everything.
So if you're gonna
it's a
wrap,
great homestead property.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna wrap, make sure you look at what your end PITI is going to be to that wrap buyer versus what market rent is right now for that same home. That plays a
Yeah.
huge factor. If you're $1,000 more, you're not going to find a wrap buyer. It's just it's not affordable. But if maybe you're $300 or $400 more, that person might say, okay, home ownership makes sense at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
And
No, the rent is not very good.
yeah. So remember this too, like wraps are a lot of legwork. And so if
I
you're
know,
gonna do wraps,
a lot of risk too. Yeah.
what I'm just saying is, GD, like just focus on one thing for now. Don't confuse
Uh-huh.
yourself. Start doing wraps.
Yeah, that's what
Unless
I'm
you
trying to
feel like you
do.
can take both on. Focus
Yeah.
on one thing and be good at it, and then you can start branching out to other exits.
I prefer look somewhere around where I live in Kissimmee, but just a lot of HOA around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
And the
kind of
current tenant there is only paying $1,500.
Yep.
something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Let me jump on here with Timmy. What's up, brother?
How's it going?
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing, bro?
Good.
Awesome, man. I'm glad you joined the community. I'm happy to help. I saw you're in the co-living space. Tell me a little about yourself.
Been wanting to invest and start investing about 5-6 years ago. Just going all over the place, still trying to find my lane.
Okay.
Started off buying some trailers, converted them into 4 efficiencies each trailer. So I had like 8 efficiencies.
Yeah.
This was like 6 years ago. I was cash flowing like $2,000 a month per trailer. Then the association cracked down on it and had all these problems. So I sold them, took that money, started buying places in Key Largo.
Mhm.
And I have 4 properties down there now. The rent about a year ago, I started doing Airbnb with the first property that I bought down there. It's successful during the season, but then when the season stops, everyone's out of there and you're dead for like 2 to 3 months with nothing to do. So then I would change it from Airbnb to a permanent 12-month standard lease. And then I was barely getting enough to cover the expenses of the place on a normal 12-month lease. So then I started doing the co-living with tested out on one of the properties, and it's working kind of well. Just one, I had a drunk in one of the places, so I got rid of him, and it's constant problems, constant dealing with a lot of issues between the tenants that I've been working through the last 6 months or 8 months. I've been trying that on one of the properties. Then on another property, I converted the living room into a complete bedroom, and then I started co-living on that. Both these houses are duplexes too, so I'm only doing it on the upper units because those are one's a 3-bedroom, one's a 4-bedroom, where I would normally get about 3,800. I'm getting about 55 to 5,000 per month for the top, and
Okay.
that downstairs are 2 bedrooms, but I'm getting $3,000 a month now, and I'm not going to make any money. I'll probably just make the same amount of money, so it doesn't make sense to make the duplex into a co-living house. And then one of the places is in a resort, which I'm losing on because I got the HOA. Every person, it takes like 3 weeks to get them approved by the association. During the season, it does okay, but then as soon as the season ends, it just dead in the water. So I'm basically doing all these things to keep everything afloat, and I'm just barely breaking even. Cause I'm making a little money on some of them, but then I'm losing money on some of them. So it's just a constant battle between all the properties.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you're in the Keys, right? In the Florida Keys. So that market, not only that, I can only imagine what your insurance is on those properties. I mean, it must be just your operating costs alone are just driven up by that insurance cost down there. It's very, very expensive, you know?
Yep.
You're probably in flood zones. You probably have to also carry flood insurance. So, I'm very familiar with those markets actually. And, with short-term rentals, and as I tell everybody all the time, because, I've been doing short-term rentals since 2015 and I still do short-term rental, but you have to have such a niche product. And if you don't have a niche product, meaning more than ever now, Airbnb is showcasing experiences to the consumer. So back in 2015, when I started, you used to be able to take furniture, throw on the property, and you're good, right? Like in the Keys, and I'm not sure what your properties look like, but make an example. If you don't have a pool and you don't have the ocean view, good luck trying to compete, right? Because you don't have any uniqueness. What makes you more unique than Bob up the road doing the same thing you are doing? Now, what ends up happening is like Bob's willing to just keep dropping his prices, but you're not because you have operating expenses. Bob might own the property free and clear, and he's only paying property taxes and insurance. And maybe he might not even be paying insurance because he owns it free and clear. So you're competing with people who, it's just like, hey, you know what? We own this place free and clear, and we don't really care if it books up or not. We're going to keep dropping prices. But you're also dealing with a market that has changed so much. And Airbnb is still a great exit strategy. It's just if you don't have a unique product and you don't really showcase a luxury, unique product to the consumer, you're not going to get booked out. For instance, the property that I just did in North Carolina, I know I'm an emerging market. I know that amount of listings that are in my zip code. That's another thing I want to touch on. A lot of markets are saturated, super, super saturated. I'm also in a short-term rental regulated market, right? They allow for short-term rentals, so I'm fully zoned for it, right? And I know that North Carolina, where I'm at in Western North Carolina, which I'm doing my short-term rental investments in, I have the ice bath, the jacuzzi, the sauna. I have the 24 by 5 deck that overlooks the whole entire mountain valley. Like it's literally in pictures and even in person. the pictures in the Mountain Valley salespeople alone. Once they start seeing all these amenities, like my fire pit, my barrel sauna, my ice bath, and my jacuzzi, which again, all those amenities I spent a lot of money on. I didn't just get like the cheapest of cheap. This is what salespeople, they're like, holy smokes, I can really see my family having a great experience here. So it's the experience is what salespeople, and then me not being in a saturated market. So it sounds like to me, those are properties like, I don't know what type of equity you have, but it sounds like if you do have a lot of equity, do you have a lot of equity in those or no?
Problem is getting the money out. Yeah, I have one property that I bought. The first one I bought, I probably got $500,000 in equity, then 300,000, and then
Yeah.
like another 300,000 in the other one. So they're great for equity long game. So I don't really want to sell them and get
Yes. So you can do two things here. Either A, I'm not a fan of selling, and that's pretty straightforward. Or B, keep them in your portfolio, keep getting that tax depreciation, keep doing everything you're doing. And what you need to do is find a PML who will let you pull out some of that equity for a return. You see what I'm saying? There's plenty of PMLs that'll let you go second lien position on those properties, and you pull, let's say, 100 G's out, or 150 or $200,000 out of that debt equity, and start moving that money into other investments, because that money's just sitting there not doing anything. It's actually depreciating. You know,
Right.
money only moves, or money only works if it's moving, you know? So with 500K sitting in those each property, I would definitely see how you can tap into that without using a bank, and go creative by using a PML and tap into that equity so you can start investing in other investments.
What is a PML?
A private money lender.
Okay.
So make an example like this, right? And I had such a limited belief, and I never realized like how easy it is to tap into money. And when I say tap into money, meaning like there's a lot of people who work 9 to 5s, for example. There's people who've won scratch off tickets and they've won 5, 10, 15, 20 grand. Some of them more, and even more than that. But basically what I'm getting at is anybody who has lazy capital, or maybe just a retirement plan, they don't know what their money's doing. I spoke to a lady just yesterday. I'm making an example. I said, what is your money doing in the market? She said, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? So you're willing to give your money to an institution that puts their money out in the market, that says they give you a return. You have no idea what return you're getting, but you're okay with them making money on your money, right? I asked her that. She's like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I have no idea. So why not put it in a tangible asset that you can invest into? So me personally, and I spoke on this today on a podcast I was being interviewed on. Me personally, I'm younger. I'm okay with being leveraged and taking equity out of my properties. How I came out about on a lot of my money was taking and doing cash out refinances on all my properties. But that's when money was cheap. Money's not cheap anymore through banks. So the next best thing is going to a PML and saying, hey, look, private money lender, somebody who has lazy capital. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be somebody in this community, and say, hey, look, I have $5,000 or $500,000 in equity. I want to tap into 250 of that. Who will take a 10 to 14% return annualized interest on their money? And now you can pull that money out, and their money would be secured by the real estate. There would be a note, a mortgage drafted, and their money would be secured by the real estate, and they'd have a lien position against it, right? So now they feel secure. And now you have money to play with. You see?
Right.
Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, because it's been a struggle with the banks because my debt to income ratio, I have a W-2, and it's been just a constant struggle, appraisals and back and forth, and they only want to give me, with one property where I have like $400,000 in equity, they want to give me $80,000.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So see what you can do with PMLs, post in the group, see if there's any good PMLs that would want to lend. And I mean, I'm sure, again, it's just a matter of you continuing to put it out there to see if there's a PML to let you borrow, and put in second lien position on your property. And you can also even cross collateralize if they don't feel secure enough with being a second, because a lot of PMLs don't like second lien positions, but if you structure a good enough return on their money, they'll be totally fine. Third lien position is where it gets really ugly and no one wants to touch it. But as long as there's a first or second, then they're fine.
Yeah, and then the next thing is I've been kind of all over trying to figure out my next move, because I did an equity line of credit on my primary residence.
Okay.
and just trying to figure out where my next move is. I flew up to Detroit. I was thinking about going into Detroit, going into Section 8 housing, but I just feel like it's so far. And that market has very limited exit strategies if it doesn't work out. So, but
Yeah.
for the cash flow, which I'm trying to get out my W-2 as fast as possible, I'm trying to weigh out the balances of things.
Yeah. So right now you want to get out of your W-2 eventually, right? And just so you know, a lot of people are in W-2s and they just use them as vehicles until they get into real estate full time. So that's what I would do until you can really replace that income.
Right.
Where are you living at right now?
I'm actually living at my mom's.
Oh,
I
okay.
moved out of my house. I rented my house. I moved my family. My mom has a condo like 10 miles from where we live. And I rented out my house and I was staying at my mom's for a quarter of the price to try and get more
Right.
momentum in the direction I'm trying to go.
What market are you in?
I live in Miami.
Oh, you live in Miami. Okay, cool. I'm actually born and raised in Miami, so that's awesome, brother. So what I would say is for you, one of the biggest things that you got to focus on is seeing how you can tap into that dead capital that's on your properties, right? A lot of equity. It's just like pretty much like sitting in a Chase bank account, not doing anything, but you got to tap into that. And that way you can start investing into more co-living spaces and or Section 8, whatever you want to do. Now, are you acquiring your properties, or do you understand how to acquire properties via subject to or seller finance?
I understand it, but I did wholesaling for like a year and a half. It was a frustrating process. So I understand all the processes. It was just doing phone calls all day, every day till 9 o'clock at night, working on contracts, weeks and weeks on end, and basically at least I got 80% of my money back that I invested. So it was a very frustrating process for a negative return.
Yeah, yeah,
But I got a lot of experience from it.
yeah.
So
I was gonna say that, like a lot of people, they focus on all the bad that happened, but really you got more good out of it than bad, right? Because it's
right.
really like, hey, my time got wasted and my money got wasted, but dude, there's so much more positive that came out of that. And so,
Right. Yeah. I did about three or four wholesale deals in that time frame. So I got some of the experience with a little bit of everything. And really my big takeaway is that I would do a lot more inbound because I was doing all outbound and was just calling, hiring callers and this and that. It was probably
yeah,
best thing probably would have been done, just invest a little more money, have all inbound and just do it all by myself.
yeah, yeah. And so right now you said you're in between, like, I want to Section 8. Do I want to continue to scale my co-living? I'm making an example. Dude, Miami's bro, if you can start getting subject to and seller finance deals in Miami and you can get the numbers to pencil, dude, one of the best markets is Miami. There's just zero room rentals out there. They need more inventory. They need more inventory. So tapping into that equity and making Miami your market to buy in. That's what
That's right. The biggest thing is I've I've done the numbers on houses all day long, and it's these $800,000 million houses. It
expensive.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's too expensive. It just can't pencil. That's the problem. That's the problem with down there. Uh, unless you're somebody who bought years and years ago, typically you're not gonna be able to tap into that market. So the next best thing for you is to tap in markets like I'm in, like Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville. There's good secondary markets in our area, like Kissimmee, Davenport, Lakeland, Melbourne. These markets you can get a lot. Like one of the properties I bought this year is in Jacksonville. I spent $300,000 on a property is doing gross $6,000 a month. The one I just bought in Palm Coast, I just walked all the students through it the other day. $380,000. That property is predicted to do about 6,500 a month as well, gross. I should net on these anywhere between $15 to $2,000 a month. So you're gonna have to get up in these markets. And I know it's unfortunate because you probably want to keep your portfolio really close to you so you can keep your eyeballs on it. But it's just a matter of having and understanding and trusting the process and really creating SOPs. So I know you just got into the community, but if you go through my course that I put together on pad split, you'll see all the SOPs and all the fundamentals that I teach in there, so you can really create a hands-off approach. Like what I'm in Orlando and I have properties in Jacksonville, I have property in Palm Coast, Orlando. And I'm not driving these properties, dude. I'm literally, my teams are vertically integrated. And what I do is I run my construction site projects prior to before. I'm running everything remotely. I literally, from the time and I close on the property to the time the property's up on a pad split and ready to be marketed, I typically walk the property 2 times. 2 times, that's it. The first initial times for acquisition, and the second time is just to see how the construction goes. And that's typically like when the construction is like literally all the way done, and that's it. And then after that, I hire people on TaskRabbit, what they're called errand runners. And basically they're like, you make them your employee, right? Like I got a lady right now, anything I do, if I tell her to jump 10 feet in the air, she's jumping 10 feet in the air. She's running errands. She's going to the stores for me. Whatever I need her to do, boom, 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 boom. And guess what? I built that relationship off of TaskRabbit. So I'm leveraging other people. So you got to get comfortable with leveraging. That's one thing, because we all want control all the time. And the problem with that is our time is valuable. If you can delegate a lot of this stuff, Timmy, and start focusing on acquisitions and moving that capital that you have into other deals, then do that. And another thing too, as well, and I'm just using me as an example, I'm not saying, partner with me or anything. You can also find operators like myself. When you tap into that equity, you could say, you know what, hey, Javier, I don't really want to understand the Central Florida market. I want to stay down here in Miami. I'd rather deploy into deals, be a PMP, which is a private money partner. And you can structure where you own the property 50% with someone like myself or a good operator that you know, like, and trust. And then what you do is you get 100% of upside. Then you get, let's say 60-40 or 70-30 on cash flow, whatever you and that individual negotiated on. So that's another way you can look at it from a standpoint of like, hey, I don't want to learn that market, or I don't want to drive up to that market. I'd rather just invest in somebody who knows what they're doing. That's also another strategy. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, it's just, it takes a long time to get trust with someone, and just to jump in with someone 50-50, and then all of a sudden you realize this relationship's not working.
Yep. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, date slow, bro. Date slow, and it's one of those things that you're absolutely right. Even with the deals that I'm doing, and I'm doing deals at a high level, I typically prefer a PML on my deals because they're not a partner. They're a PML. I'm borrowing money from them. I'm giving them a return on their money, and then it's secured by the real estate, and that's it. Right now, when I typically partner with PMPs, I typically make them a silent partner, because there can't be too many Indians and not too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Right.
So you're absolutely right. You do have that pitfall, but start cultivating those relationships now. That when you do come across your capital, and or you want to start raising capital, because really the name of the game is OPM. You have to use other people's money. So if you're going to take that money that you have and start, this is what I tell people, like create like a little pyramid, and on the top of the pyramid, you might do like high risk, like crypto, with 10% of that money. And then the second portion of that pyramid, you might say, okay, I'm going to be a Gator lender, meaning I'm going to do transactional lending. And then the third portion, the biggest portion of that pyramid, you might say, okay, well, I want to invest in buy and hold properties, right? Segment it out. That way you have an understanding of like, when I get that 500K, I want to deploy it, and this is the way I want to deploy it, right? That's what I do with my money. That's how I like to work it. Keep it broke down into sections based on risk tolerance for those sections, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I would do. And then once you get that money, and or you start working with other people for OPM, other people's money is what they call it. You can start raising capital for deals that you believe in, whether it's Section 8 or co-living. But I'm not sure how focused you are on this, but it being that you have a W-2, try to focus on one exit strategy. And when you focus on one exit strategy, get really good at it. And then you can move on to something else, or just add something else, another bucket to your exits. We get caught up in trying to do all this stuff, bro. It's just too much. You got to focus on one thing, stop getting the shiny object syndrome. Either go Section 8 or go co-living, whatever resonates with you best, or go Airbnb, whatever resonates with you best, or go wraparound mortgage, whatever resonates with you best. But pick one thing, be good at it, and then start leveraging and delegating your time so you can start adding these other exits into your tool belt. That's what I do, right? Like I have multiple exits that I work with. I don't just do co-living. I do a lot of co-living right now because it's relevant and I love it. And I'm buying a lot of subject to and seller finance properties. And this what makes sense for my buy box right now, but it's not my main thing that I just do, you know?
Right. That's another thing is, I have, about 100,000 equity line of credit. It's like I go buy one property, I'm
Yep.
done.
Done. Exactly. That's what I said. Name of the game is OPM, other people's money. So you need to
Right.
start creating relationships with PMLs and PMPs right now. I have
Yeah.
guys right now. This is like I got guys right now. They're like they've been following me. They see that I'm a real person. I'm doing real deals in real time, and they're investing into me. They're saying, "Hey, look, man, I'll bring capital to the table, and you be the operator. You have the skill set, you have the systems and processes in place. You already know what to do, and I'm going to deploy you, right? So you can." Ask yourself, what skill set can you bring to the table, whether it's sweat equity or a partnership? And there's no rules. That's the beautiful thing about this, especially when you're doing creative finance. Like you can structure anything that makes sense for both parties, But yeah, you're right. 100K can be wiped out on one property just like that. Typically on my properties, I'm all in. I try to be all in. No, and this is acquisition, pad split cost, reno, holding cost, all the miscellaneous fees, blah, blah, blah. I try to be in no more than 50 to 60K because when I'm in at 50, 60K and I buy a $6,000 a month property, I'm usually at a 25% cash on cash return, net, right? The clear, which is good for my money. That's where I'm happy at. Everybody might be a little bit different. Gita might be happy with 20% cash on cash or 18% cash on cash. I know for me, my target is 25 to 32% cash on cash. If I'm in that range, then I'm good to go, So, but I'm in the same boat, by the way. I'm in the same boat on a couple of my properties. 3, 4 of them. I did cash out refinances on all of them. I pulled about $80,000 to $100,000 out on all of them. This is back when money was super cheap and I could just do a cash out with a bank. Now money's gotten so expensive and they're ready for cycle number 2 of cash out refinance. This is what I love about real estate. Like they're money farms, right? People say, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, but dude, it grows on real estate. It definitely grows on real estate. Like I've owned these properties and now I'm on the second cycle ready for cash out refinances on these things. So I'm looking for a PML that will come in and I can tap into this equity and move it out. So I'm in conversation with a few people, but I'm in that same boat as you are. And I'm going to take my money and I'm going to do certain part of it I'm doing lending with. And then another portion of the money I'm investing my money into some other buy and holds and stuff like that. So that's how I'm segmenting my money. But you're absolutely right. I can spend 50, 100K and snap of a finger. So, but yeah, just do one thing, brother.
And how's the pad split there? You said someone earlier, I think might have said there's a place you could go on their site to see where they have the highest occupancy at.
You can go on their pad split resources under resources if you go to padsplit.com, if you go under the resource tab, it will show you under resources, you can put in a specific zip code. It will show you how many upcoming listings there are, meaning like hosts that have listed their property, but they're not active yet because they're probably in the construction phase, but they just put a couple photos on. It will also show you what your competition is and what the average price per room in that zip code is. So if you go to padsplit.com, you go under the resource tab will show you all that stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool tool. It's pretty cool tool. I don't just use that. I add other things into my underwriting. Like I tell people, like I don't go based on the pad split representation numbers. Like I'll use them for some things. Like I'll get like a baseline of what they're saying, but I do my own underwriting by looking at like, and this is how I come up with the number per week is I go to like apartments.com, Zillow.com, MLS, because I have access to the MLS and I'm running to see what studio apartments are in the 1 mile radius and I'm discounting them about 25 to 30%. And that's how I come up with my weekly room rates. You see what I'm saying? And then for whatever market I'm going into, I look at like how many listings are in that market. So my newest property that I'm doing right now in Palm Coast, there's 0 listings in that market. My Jacksonville market that I'm in, Jacksonville, there's over 1,000 listings in that market, right? So I want to look at the level of saturation and demand in that market. That's super important to me, you know, and that should be important to you guys when you're doing your underwriting. But I'll do it based on like, I'll get pad split statistics and get what their minds are seeing and their eyeballs are seeing metric wise on their platform. But then I'm also doing my own analysis as well and
Okay.
validating. So. Anything else?
Javier, that's
What's
a
it?
question that Paul and I had pop up today that we were talking through is like, what's your thoughts on like it being potentially oversaturated in some areas with availability? Like you get a deal in Jacksonville or Tampa where there's a ton available. How are you?
Yeah.
Is it just the same, go back to the same, make yourself unique?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the biggest thing is being neighborhood walkability and uniqueness is super huge, right? Like obviously me coming from the short-term rental background, I know short-term rentals, you got to be super unique. So I try to do that same style within my properties as well. But as we already know, it's only going to get more and more unaffordable for people to live, right? So that's going to push more people into the co-living marketplace. I'm in Jacksonville, and I don't know if you don't remember me telling you this the other day. In my Jacksonville property, I've had it up on the market live for about 60 days, and I only have 3 rooms out of 8 booked, right? So that property's underperforming for what I thought it was going to be. And that market in Jacksonville, there's a lot of rooms at like 150, 160, 180. And my rooms are higher than that, but I'm also in a really nice neighborhood. I'm going to wait, like those rooms are like hood, you know? And
Yeah.
I
And
don't,
you're breaking even on that one still, you
yeah.
said, right?
Yeah, I'm breaking even on that one. So I don't consider it a loss for me. And I know I will get up to the 80, 90, 100% occupancy range. Well, what I'm saying is when you're investing in these markets, like Jacksonville, for instance, there's like, I think about 1,100, 1,200 listings in there. You have to factor in, they say pad split statistic is when you launch a property, it takes 30 days to reach 80% occupancy. That's not true in all markets, right? That's what they're saying. That's not true in all markets. So you got to make sure when you're putting your listing up, one, and have expectations of what market you're going into. And to get that data, you want to, look at pad split, see what they're saying, get with the representative. But these markets that have a lot more listings, like for instance, Orlando market, when I have a room that goes vacant or excuse me, when I have a member that moves out, dude, within 48 hours, we get another member in there. It's so crazy. It's moving really fast. But keep in mind, Orlando market only has like 500. They have half of what Jacksonville has. We're a lot newer market than what Jacksonville is. You see what I'm saying? So being unique, right, is super important. Making sure that you're in a safe environment for your pad split members and you're not doing this in neighborhoods that you wouldn't walk in, right? You want your people to feel safe, right? You want your members to feel safe. And then just going in the market with the intentions of knowing how many listings are in there. That way you can underwrite with longer holding time, longer holding costs. But in my opinion, it's going to take a long time for us to really catch up to the affordability of getting bedrooms for these individuals. Like it's just getting more affordable. So it's pushing more people into this space, right? Like there's no middle class, right, anymore. It's rich or poor and wealthy, right? It's just how it is right now, So things are just becoming more affordable, and eventually this pool of individuals who have to rent bedrooms, single individuals, is just growing and growing and growing and growing. So that's just kind of my intake on it. I don't even think pad split has, like, make an example. Atlanta is one. I think Atlanta is their very first market. Atlanta has thousands of listings there. And if you have a property in Atlanta, dude, same thing. Rents like hotcakes. And they have, I think they have, I want to say Atlanta has like 35 to 4,000 listings there alone. But it's a market, it's a city that can support that. You see what I'm saying? There's the population growth. That's what I'm looking at. Like, what's population growth? So, I think having that expectations of knowing and having that holding cost time in and knowing, like, for me, it takes me 39 to 45 days to get a pad split from nothing to up and running, right? From acquisitions to up and running. It takes me, my last one I did is in 39 days. This one that I'm doing in Palm Coast, I'm trying to beat that record right now. I'm probably going to be right around 39 days. I'm actually running behind on that project. So just having that expectation of holding time, and then just making your rooms pop as much as possible. Uniqueness, making sure they all have TVs, making sure they all have reaching closets, fans, your furniture's nice. And not only that, I don't know if you heard me say the other day, Andrew, when I'm doing my furnishings, most pad split hosts are putting all black beds in their bedrooms, all black beds. I don't do that. Remember, people buy based on color. Color will get people to buy. The color red, the color blue, the color yellow. These are warm, welcoming colors. Like my bed frames, they're color. I had nice art on the walls. Like this is what intrigues people to buy. And then what I'm doing moving forward is I'm adding a little triangle marketing piece into my pictures, to where that little triangle that sits on the bottom corner of let's say like the screen right here, it's going to say like Roku TV. It's going to say foam mattress, own climate control, if it has own climate control, bedroom fan. It's going to have all these little marketing pieces, and that's going to be like red or blue. And boom, now I'm optimizing my listing. So as long as you're optimized, you have a unique product, you're in a good location, you're in a major metro market, and you understand that market statistics, you'll be fine, because there's only more people getting into the affordability range or needing affordable houses. That's my take on it. What's up, Jose?
What's up, Javier? What's up, everybody?
What's up, brother?
Good, man. Good.
You in Miami? Or you in Puerto Rico?
No, yeah, in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico!
Hey, so yeah, good information, man. Good information here. I've been listening in and learning every day. I wanted to ask you about the information sources. You go online and YouTube and all these media outlets, and there's so much information, and you don't know what's true, you don't know what's noise, what's facts. Where do you go to? What's a credible source that you follow, or where do you get your data from, your facts as far as the market trends and all that?
You're saying like real estate market trends, or
Yeah, real estate
economic
market market.
So I have a couple people that I follow on YouTube, but mostly what I do is, if you go to mortgagedailynews.com, it's a really good site. That's where they put out all like the mortgage daily news. I'm on that site every day, just kind of seeing what the market's doing as far as mortgages and stuff like that. But really, like, for me personally, I'm not a news guy. I don't want to follow the news channels. I don't want to follow all that noise, because it's just nothing but noise. CNN, Fox News, all that stuff is bullshit. Like listen, they want you to be a puppet and just listen to them, right? So when I'm looking at market trends, I'm looking at, me being that I'm a realtor, I get market updates, and you actually get the same exact market updates that I do. If you go to any market that you want to invest into and you go to their board of realtors, they actually have stats and market stats for the housing market for that general market. So let's say you want to invest in Miami, for instance, and you want to see what the median home prices are, how much inventory is there, what's the 6-month supply, how quick are homes selling on the market, and you want to get all this data, and you want like specific data to a specific market. I would say you go to the board of realtors or reach out to a realtor in that market, can be even myself, and get those datas. And what they do is they put it all in like a really nice clean format, and it shows like average days of market. It shows how long properties average days of market, which means how long properties are sitting on market, what the median home price is, what the 6-month supply is, all that stuff. Other than that, I'll typically jump on Mortgage Daily News every once in a while. And there's just a couple influencers that I'll see on like YouTube and stuff like that are real estate driven, talking about real estate. I'll follow them a little bit, but remember, like me, I'll be honest with you, Jose, I do very little of all that stuff. And let me tell you why. Because I'm a buy and hold investor. I don't really care what the market's doing. I don't really care what interest rates are. I don't really care what's going on in the news because you know why? I'm buying and holding. I'm holding these things for 10 years plus, right? So my strategy is to hold the property, if not for 10 years, forever, and pass these on to my kids. So I
Right.
don't care what the market's doing today. I really don't. It's not affecting me because I'm going to continue to build my portfolio. A lot of times people get caught up and a lot of times they'll get caught up and they'll say, oh, well, I'm not going to invest in the market because of this war. I'm not investing in the market because, oh, the election or stuff like that. Or I'm not going to invest in the market because it's crashing. You know, I've been hearing this for years. I've been doing this since 2010. I've been hearing this from years from a lot of people. And a lot of people back in 2018, 2019, when I was picking up properties at $280,000 that are worth today $600,000 that I've done one cycle of cash out refinances on. A lot of those same people, they never bought. They sat on the sideline, and guess what? They missed the boat. I don't want. It's just noise for me, right? So I'm not really honed in on all these hubs of information because it's just a distraction for me personally. So
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. So my other question was about your lead generation and going back to the same thing, all the noise, right? Um, I know on Facebook, there's a lot of, deals that are not really deals, and you end up losing a lot of time looking at those. Very hard to find something worthwhile there. So how do you go about generating these leads and, all the way to acquisition? Do
yeah,
you have a team or?
no. So for me, I keep it super simple. What I'm doing right now is one. You see that I'm doing meetups, right? You've been to my meetups before. How many
Yeah.
people you see at my meetups? I have between 30 to 50 people show up every single time. Let me ask you something. Do you get emails from me?
Yes.
Okay. So I monetize everything that I'm doing. I monetize. So a lot of times when I meet up people, they go into my CRM, they get a tag, and it could be a wholesaler. When that introduction happens, they're a wholesaler. Now they get tagged under my CRM. So we keep it organized. So if, for instance, that's why you haven't got an email from me asking you, hey, Jose, do you have a deal to sell me? Because I know you don't wholesale. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm meeting people, I know and I get them tagged in my CRM. Now I can now reach out and do an email blast, ask them, hey, do you have a deal within my buy box? But I keep it super simple. The way I'm getting my deals is like I'm not going direct to seller. I don't do any direct to seller. And if you're gonna do direct seller, there's nothing wrong with that. You actually get into deals for a lot less money a lot of times. But you just have to ask yourself, do you want to put in all this upfront work, calling the leads every single day, following up every single day? Making sure that your offers are being negotiated at the highest ability. If you're putting offers in, like if you have the time to go direct to seller, do it, and if you have the infrastructure, do it. I don't do direct to seller model. I actually have what I've done is I've built relationships with top wholesalers in Subto. And when they get a deal, even before they lock it up, they send it to me and they'll say, hey, Javier, are you a buyer for this property? And I'm just going out and I built those relationships. So now what I have, Jose, is have you ever heard, you know what a bird dog is?
Yeah.
People out there scouting for deals for
Right.
me. So that's what they're doing. They're scouting for deals for me. There's a bunch of people who know that what I'm looking for based on my buy box, and what they'll do is they're out there bringing me deals every single day. I'm getting deals on a daily basis. Like you'll see. Also, another thing I do as well, Jose, is I'll make a post today in all the groups. You'll see I'll make a post. Send me your creative deals within this criteria, which is my buy box. So I'm going to make a post in another day or two. You'll see it'll go out in all the major groups like Subto. It's going to go in the free Facebook groups. It's going to go in all the major wholesaling groups in the state of Florida. There's going to be a post when I do that. I'm going to get blown up with stuff, and a lot of people are going to hit me up. But remember, this is what you want to avoid, what you're getting a lot of. You're getting a lot of people sending you just stuff that you're not interested in. So that's why I prefer to do the bird dog method, because these guys know exactly what I'm looking for, Try to build relationships with other people who are either A, bird dogs, or B, who you want to be like. For instance, are you going to do a direct to seller model? If you're thinking about doing direct to seller model, then you might have to do a bird dog. or you could still do a bird dog. That way your likelihood of getting a deal is a lot greater. But publicize what you're looking for in the community. Hey, I'm looking for a 3-2. These are the markets. These are the price points. Only via subject to, less than 5% interest rate, at 10% entry fee, single family, no HOA, but no, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm just using bird dogs with all my deals, and that's it. And so what I'm doing, Jose, is a lot of deals that are getting put out there right now, a lot of people are locking them up at way too high of entry fees. And I know, because I know the market, I know they're not going to sell. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting initial offer out to them. Just because they're saying, hey, oh, the entry fee is $50,000 doesn't mean I'm going to pay that shit. What I'm doing,
Right.
I'll message them. If I see a property, like right now, I have a property I have my eyeballs on. And I do this for all types of deals, all my deals. I'll message that wholesaler and I'll say, hey, look, here's where I'm a buyer at. These are the numbers where I'm a buyer at. And I'll send them that message. And when I send them that message, they're most likely to say, they can think of two ways. If they're a wholesaler that wants to sell, they're selling volume wise, meaning they're not just stuck on this one deal and they know the value of someone like me, a serious buyer willing to buy the property, they'll put that deal together real quick. They typically would counter me and or just say, okay, I'll accept that offer, because it's powerful to have a real buyer want to buy your property who's super serious and who's somebody who's going to perform, which is myself, right? So I do that amongst people. So I'll be in the groups, Jose, today. Let's say I'm taking I'm eating lunch or something. We're all playing on our cell phones all day. But when I'm playing on my cell phone, I'm a lot more intentional. I'm intentional. I write what I want in these groups. And then I have people that send me deals, and then I'm putting offers out, just little verbal offers to people. Boom. And then they usually come back to me either with a counter, or they say, no, that doesn't work. That's not going to work. And then they might come to me 3-4 weeks later and I'm going to renegotiate it again. So my
Got it.
model is bird dogs, building relationships with wholesalers, and get my deals that way. But there's a lot of ways you can get deals. You can get your deals through direct to seller. If you have the infrastructure and you have the time and the energy to go and do direct to seller, then go direct to seller. You just have to ask yourself, what makes most sense for you? If you're traveling like you are, you're doing a lot of traveling. If you have the time to do direct to seller, go direct to seller. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Great.
I prefer the other method, the bird dog, and dealing with wholesalers
Okay.
directly.
Cool. So what I would do is, Jose, take 5 top wholesalers this week, message them your buy box and say, hey, do you have any deals within this criteria? Hey, when you do, can you keep me in mind and keep me on your VIP list? Start building that
Got
relationship.
it.
Do 5 a
I'm
week.
I'm good. I'm gonna send you my buy box so you can look at it and see if I have to tweak something in there.
You want to put it in the chat right now? I can look at it right now.
Let me see if I'm able to do it.
Just copy and paste it.
Bear with me 1 minute here.
No problem. Just don't jump in the ocean. Every time I see you, you're traveling, bro.
Yeah, that's why I rather go the bird dog method. Let me see if I can do this here. All right, there it is.
Okay. All right. Buy box, off market, preferred. Okay. On market, low equity, free and clear. Free and clear meaning like you want to do seller finance.
Correct. Creative. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So instead of free and clear, if you're sending this to a wholesaler, it could be confusing. Just put seller finance or subject to deals only.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Free and
Okay.
clear is going to get confusing to a lot of people. When they see this low equity, free and clear, that's very confusing. So make sure you're in clear on it and just say creative finance by properties only, subject to or seller finance. Or you can just put creative finance properties only. They'll understand. If somebody's doing this, they'll understand what you're talking about. Florida,
Okay.
counties, Orange, Osceola, Seminole, Volusia. All right, single family home, multifamily, 4 units or less. Okay, cash buyer, sub to seller finance. So you're buying deals cash? Do you plan?
Hard money, I meant.
Okay. So when you're doing hard money, you realize you have to refinance out of that at some point. You're going to pay a lot of money for that money.
Yeah.
Are you really in the game of wanting to mess with banks? Is my question. If you are, then okay, you can go hard money. Block, no frame, minimum square footage 1,000, no HOA, pool, any condition, vacant or occupied. Now, me personally, Jose, when I'm doing these, again, this is my buy box. I'm not saying you got to copy my buy box or nothing. When I'm buying properties, all the big ticket items, all the capital expenditures, like all the big ticket items are updated. I care about how old the roof is. I care about the AC, the plumbing, electrical. And then my next
Okay.
thing I really, really care about is I want to know cosmetic wise, is the kitchen updated? Are the bathrooms updated? Are the floors updated? These are super huge to me. See what I'm saying?
So for the buy box itself, then should I do like light rehab only?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Light rehab.
correct. Yeah, you could do light rehab. You could do light rehab. That's fine. Yes. Any
Okay.
condition, you might want to switch to light rehab only.
Okay, got it. And then what do you think about the square footage? 1,000, you think is too small for pad split?
No, because
This is a
so
this is
here's
a pad split buy box.
right, pad split buy box, right. So here's the thing. With your square footage, try to, I would say 1,200 upwards of 2,000 is the real sweet spot, but you never know. You might see a floor plan that really works for you to do pad split with and 1,000 square foot. So you might not want to discard it, but I would say probably stay around 1,200 or more square footage.
Okay, and here's why I did 1,000 or more. I'm thinking a lot of these smaller houses, they have like a one car garage. Do you always convert those, or do you try to stay away from that?
Always. I always convert those because it's just a dead
So
spot.
right, that's why I was going with 1,000 or more, because I figure that, there must be maybe there's a garage there that it could be converted into square footage.
Yep. Yeah, no, 100%. So keep 1,000. No, your buy box looks great.
Okay, I'll work on those changes. Yeah,
Yeah. No,
perfect. Cool.
your buy box looks good.
When
The 30th.
how was the walkthrough?
Oh man, it was amazing, man. It was amazing. My guys are rocking and rolling over there. They're almost done. They'll be done at the end of this week as far as with the whole entire pad split build out. I got my AC, my mini split going in on Sunday or Monday. And then I'm gonna have my next crew come in, which is my guys who build all the furniture. So right now we're already having furniture delivered to the property. What we do is we order all the furniture, have it all delivered, and then we'll have it all assembled at one time.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, so it's going real well, man. It's going real well. I know you wanted to
Great.
come, bro, but don't worry. I'm working on a couple other properties right now that I have offers on. If they get accepted, I'll do another walkthrough prior to me even putting walls up, Jose, and you'll have a vision. You'll have a vision for it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I wanted to go to that one, but next time.
Yeah, no, I'm saying there's gonna be other opportunities. Plus, I'll drop the link of the YouTube video that we recorded. That'll be on there as well.
Okay, that's not up yet.
No, it's not up yet. My team's working on the
All right.
production of it right now.
Cool.
So, but yeah, man, keep me posted. Come through on the Subto meetup at the 30th if you can.
Yeah, I'll probably be there. I'll see you there.
I don't want to probably, bro.
I mean, if I'm in Orlando, I'll be there.
Dude, you're everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Is there anything else I can help with?
Cool, man. No, man, that was it. Thank you so much.
Awesome, brother. All right, bro.
Until next week, I'll come up with some more questions for
Yeah, man.
sure
Don't
for
get
next
confused
week.
on those news outlets, bro. There's nothing you need to.
No. Yeah, I wasn't talking about news itself. I don't watch the news myself. I don't pay attention to that. But I was saying more like real estate related
Yeah. Yeah.
trends and numbers and all that.
Yeah.
But cool, yeah, you answered all my questions. Thanks, Javier.
All right, brother.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bro. Michael. We got Michael in here.
Yeah, hi. Just it's my first time jumping in. I got introduced by Ann Sansbury.
Oh, nice, brother. Nice. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Yeah, I think she
Yeah.
was telling me about you the other day. You're an investor, and tell me a little bit about what you're working on.
Well, so I'm right now I'm in year 2 of investing. I've picked up 5 properties, and I've one of them is a sub 2 one that I attempted to I thought about doing a pad split on, but turns out it's actually on Palm Coast, and I didn't like numbers, so I decided against it. So it's just a long-term rental now. But I'm kind of I kind of take the approach where I let the deal kind of dictate what my exit strategy is, instead of just kind of pigeonholing myself into it. So like if something makes sense as a flip, I'll flip it. If it makes sense to do a long-term rental on it or a short-term rental on it, I'll do that. I'll do that kind of a thing. So everything's very dependent upon making sure that I get it at the right price, and so that's kind of what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I do this full time. I do direct to seller. I'm doing cold calls and all of that beautiful stuff. Yeah, I mean, Ann said that I should come and check you out because she said that you're real smart, and just based on what I'm hearing, you sound pretty smart to me.
Nah, I'm listen, man. I'm no smarter than you guys. I just been doing it for quite some time. But here's the beauty. This is why
Sure.
this is why I created this community, because I don't know it all. And the community drives the community.
Sure.
The biggest thing is for you guys. You're in the community, right? The school community?
I am not. This is literally my first time even hearing about you guys.
Well, how did you get the Zoom link?
Ann sent it to me.
Oh, got it, got it. Okay, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so get in. I was gonna say get in the community, or post up in the community what you're looking for, but you're not in the community. So anyway, so the community drives the community, and I'm no smarter than any of you guys. I just have been doing this for quite some time, and I've done a lot of exit strategies, and I still do a lot of exit strategies, and I'm very successful at what I do. But that's the beauty, brother. Like, we all get to collaborate. And that's why I've created this, because in school, we have PMLs, we have wholesalers, we have all my course content, we have Tech Tuesday. Like, we have all this different value that we're able to provide with each other because we all deliver a different skill set. You see what I'm saying? So I think Ann was telling me about you the other day. And but no, that's awesome that you're doing creative finance, because I acquire all my deals via subject to and or seller finance. So that's amazing, brother. I mean, you're already off to a great start. And it's very few people that I talk to that say, hey, look, I'm not dependent. I don't back myself in no corner. It depends on what the property is, depending on what my exit strategy is. A lot of students, when I teach them, I'm like, look, just pick one exit strategy, because a lot of times they get too confused with all the different exit strategies, and then they don't execute on anything. So it's really getting them over that hump, right? And so you've already gone through over that hump, and now you're vested into 5 deals, and you're probably buying more. You got the experience, and so you're just like me. Like, I have the experience, and I can evaluate and execute on multiple different high levels of real estate because I understand it. So good job on that.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. I do have a question that maybe you could shine some light on, but and if you don't, that's totally okay too, because you don't do direct to seller. But I get into a lot of situations where I meet with the seller, everything's cool, I send them the contract, everything's great, and then I get ghosted, right? And for whatever reason, I do what you're supposed to do, follow up with them 3 4 5 times a day, blah 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 blah. They're just ghosting.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
Have you ever tried to call from a different number?
I have not. It feels, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me. But I mean, no, I haven't tried that.
Yeah. So, okay. You could try to call from a different number. And when they pick
Sure.
up, you say, hey, hey, Bob, I'm just calling you from my office phone. Hey,
Sure.
we haven't got to connect since I sent you the DocuSign. Hey, where you
Yeah.
at? So I know where to leave off. Right.
Sure.
That's how I would approach it. Call from a
Mhm.
different number. I'm sure you've already double dialed, stuff like that. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can tell that this human being is being avoidant. And one
Right.
of the primary things us as humans we lead with is avoidance. We love to be avoidant. And there could
Right.
have been something in the contract, or maybe they took a different direction, but it's really like building that rapport, building that trust, someone who knows, likes, and trusts you, which is hard to do because you're a stranger. You're on the other side of the phone. Why should they trust you? You see what I'm saying? Um,
Right.
so I would call from another number, but then you say, hey, Bob, hey, I'm calling from my office phone. Just want to see where we're at in the process. Where should I leave off from here? Keep it simple.
Sure.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll give that a shot. Thank you.
Yeah, guarantee you get them to pick up. I'll put money on it.
Yeah.
You'll get them to pick up. And,
Nice.
and just get it to where you're not blowing them up from that other number. You're just
Right.
you know what I mean? Yeah. And just say, hey, just want to know where we left off, and then just kind of let them talk. Because it
Sure.
sounds like you've already done the rapport phase. You've already built the rapport.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's frustrating because you do all that work to build the rapport and even go out to see them, meet them, buy them coffee, do whatever you need to do. And then they like ghost you right at the finish line,
Yeah. So a lot of times, bro, I mean, it's the name of the game, man.
Sure. It is what it is.
It's the name of the game. It's part of the territory. It's like saying, hey, I want to go to the beach and not get sand on my toes. Like, it's gonna happen.
Right.
So you have to ask yourself, like, do you want to continue doing this? Because this is going to continue to happen. Like, just what I would say is like, see how you can do it better, and see if is something in the conversation or how you're unfolding the offer to them. Are these properties local to you or no?
Oh, they're all local. I'm right here in Orlando, so
Yeah.
I don't invest outside of within about an hour or so.
So why don't you try to, instead of getting DocuSign signatures, why don't you try to start getting wet signatures from now on?
Interesting.
So that's another thing I would switch up.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna come by today, because again, it makes it real, right? It's not only that,
Sure.
you're putting a face to a name. They're seeing a real
Sure.
team. Hey, Susie, I'll be by later on to say, to go over the contract with you and get this signed up, and then we can move on to the next process and open up escrow.
Gotcha.
Today at 4 p.m. or tomorrow morning better for you, right? Get this signed in person, especially if you know it's a hot deal. You have to also realize this. Here's another thing, bro. You have to consider this, Michael. For every one of you, there's 10 of you behind you doing the same damn thing, right?
Yep.
So
Mhm.
it goes back to what makes you unique. What is the differentiator? And so if you're working on a very hot deal, you need to strike while the iron is hot. Like, you got it. Hey, I'm going to be in the area today at 3 p.m. Get that contract signed. Get that contract.
Gotcha.
You sign wet signatures, and what you're going to do when you go over there, the goal is not just to sign the contract. Really, the goal is to build rapport, get this person to like and trust you even more than they already do. Because remember, you've been speaking to them on the phone. Now, the only thing I don't really like about this strategy, it's just not scalable, right? And
Right.
so it doesn't sound like to me you're really trying to scale it. You're just trying to add deals in your portfolio. And if that's the case, you need to get the seller to go over there to the seller. And when you go over there, to add icing on the cake and to build more like and trust, record a video with the seller. Say, hey, Mr. Seller, I actually end up helping a lot of sellers in your same position. Would you mind doing a testimonial video with me showing other sellers how this helps them and sellers in your situation? Hey, oh yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, boom. Do a 60 to 120-second video. That way you can send this to future sellers in the future, right? Now,
Gotcha.
when you do that first initial pitch, follow-up email after that, right? This is somebody you cold called, follow up, hey, got your email, follow-up email. In that email, you're going to have your breakdown sequence of the pros and cons of subject to, and then you can have your little video in there. And that's going to really build a lot of credibility, right? Because a lot of times when people are doing business with you, they're also looking up your digital footprint. They want to see, like, is this guy real? I'm going to look him at Facebook. I'm going to look him at Instagram. I'm going to Google his name. Who am I giving my home to, right? But the faster you can get over there to get those wet signatures and build rapport and actually shake a hand and put a face to a name, because you have 10 other guys behind you doing the same thing you're doing, the better your odds are you will be when closing these deals and really getting them executed and open naturally.
All right. That's good for me. I like the video idea. I do a lot. I do, you know, I do some social media stuff, you know, for my business and stuff. So, it's, that would be really easy for me to crank out.
Yeah, dude, crank them out. Make sure all those videos live on YouTube. And then just again, it's social proof. It's social proof. It's social
Right,
proof.
right.
And remember
Yeah.
this too. Here's another thing. I'll make an example.
Sure.
I had a deal, and it's not that I don't do direct seller. I'm not good at it. I'm very good at it. I used to do a lot. It's just where I'm at in my business, right?
Right.
And so I had a deal last year. It was a 2.5 interest rate. Check this out. It was I was direct to agent on the deal. And I'm an agent, by the way. And so I was direct to agent on the deal. I was actually I pulled a list. I was pulling lists and I had people calling it. And one of my callers curated an opportunity, and it was the 2.5 interest rate VA loan, single family home in Winter Haven. I'll never forget this. And when the list that we generated, typically we'll look if they ever relisted with an agent. And this individual, they end up relisting with an agent, but my caller didn't realize that, and they skipped that part of on the SOP, the standard operating procedure, to see if they relisted. Anyways, this individual relisted with an agent, and instead of me going direct to seller, which I could have, I was being ethical. I reached out to the agent because he had it listed. I said, hey, look, here's the situation. We've been working with your seller. We want to include you in this deal. And that little bit of time that I was working with the agent, I was about to get the seller to sign this offer because the seller already gave me a verbal acceptance.
Mm.
Agent ended up getting another wholesaler behind me calling them on this freaking deal. And they offered
Crazy.
the seller like another 2 or 3K cash in their pocket. The seller ended up going with that offer. Funny enough, again, I do a lot of my deals through Bird Dogs. One of the Bird Dogs I do deals through, he hit me up. He said, yo, Avi, I got a 2.5 interest rate in Winter Haven. I was like, that John? And he's like, yeah. He's like, how the fuck do you know that? And I'm like, bro, you were competing against me, dude. So you get people behind you that are trailing your steps, bro. So it sounds like to me you're doing this for your personal portfolio. And again, it's not scalable, but if you can do this because it's a very competitive market for people doing exactly what you're doing, go ahead and get these contracts signed electronically, especially if they're old school person, they're going to appreciate that.
Sure. I understand. Okay. That's good info. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome. And then, yeah, I do a once a month meetup in Orlando. I'll send you the link right now via chat.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And let me see here. I'm going to send you the link right now. Just register it. We do it once a month on the 30th of typically every month. If you register, we do an email update to everyone. So just keep your eye on your email, but register for this upcoming one. It'll be, let me see. Yeah, it'll be May 30th.
Got it.
So if you go on the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. I don't see it.
Yeah, I just posted it. Just click on the
Oh,
link.
got it. I see it.
Yeah, man, jump in, man. If you want to more value add to you, man, jump in the school community. You feel like it'd be valuable. Love to have
Absolutely.
you there. I'm doing this once a week. I go live with the whole entire community, like you saw today. It's actually funny. You got to see what the community is and what questions people ask. But basically, the way I structure these Q&As, they're either a Q&A or they're very topic specific. This week it ended up Q&A. So. But yeah, so just jump in, man. And I have all my course content in there. You get all access to all my courses. And then my integrator partner, he actually does Tech Tuesdays, and he kind of helps people with their social media profiles and deep dives on the social media stuff, integrator stuff like that. So
awesome.
On the other side, I'm just all about business and talking about, direct to sellers, like kind of like what you had, wholesale, pad split, Airbnb, seller finance, subject to all that type of stuff. So
right.
But I'm doing this.
I do have one more question, and I'm just a little curious. And you don't have to answer if you don't want to, because I know it's probably in your content. But where are you sourcing your PMLs?
I source a lot of my PMLs actually outside the community. Are you part of Subto or no?
I am. Well, not the official one, the free one.
Everyone. He's like, I don't want to be part of any communities. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's just that I've paid for so many masterminds over the last year or
Yeah.
so that's just like,
Yeah. Well, mine's not I don't do, see, that's the thing. I structure mine a lot different, brother. I don't have
yeah,
a, this is not a mastermind. This is a community. So it's totally different. A lot of those other people, knuckleheads, they take thousands of dollars. They don't do what they're supposed to do and no, not deliver. But anyway, so my PMLs are actually the 9 to 5ers, the people who are 9 to 5ers, lazy capital, 401ks. They don't know what they're doing. I'm dealing
right,
with right now. And I asked her, we just had a conversation. She's like, man, I love what you're doing. And she's like, I actually want to invest with you. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? She's like, well, I have a 401k. And I'm said, oh, cool. You got a 401k, you have a retirement account. She's like, yeah, I got about 40k in there. I said, well, okay, what's that money doing? She's like, well, I don't know. I said, okay, so that money's sitting there, it's not doing anything, and you have somebody else utilizing your money to make money. She's like, yep, pretty much. And I said, well, let's get your capital to work. So you have to be crystal clear on what your investor avatar is, and whether that's high income earners like doctors, lawyers, anybody along those lines. You can say that's your avatar. Or you could say, oh, I want to work with people in the tech world, or I want to work specifically with anybody with a 9 to 5. I would say get crystal clear on what your avatar investor is, PML.
okay,
The best
okay,
place to raise capital is outside the groups, people who are in real estate. Because
sure,
people who are real estate either A, know too much and they're very hard to mold, and or B, they want short-term lending only, meaning like 6 months or less or 12 months or less.
right,
So
right, right,
I outsource all mine outside the community.
okay, okay. And it's just people that you run into, that kind of thing, or do you have like a strategy on how to like find these people?
Yeah. So I mean, so what I do is I create my actual, you know how you create a buy box for properties, I create a buy box for PMLs. And
Okay,
my buy box for my I call it my buy box, but my lending buy box is high income earners. So people who make typically 6 figures or more, and they work a 9 to 5. They want to be in real estate, but they don't know how to negotiate real estate. They want to be in real estate, but they don't know how to curate deals. They want to be in real estate, but they don't have the time. You see what I'm saying? All these pain
right,
points. Hey man, I really want to be in real estate. I know it's a really good tool. How do I do that? So, hey, look, hey, Javier's right here. I'm an operator. I'm a top operator. They either invest with me as a PMP, which is a private money partner, or they might say, hey, Javier, I don't really care for upside of real estate. I don't want to own any real estate. I just want specifically a return on my money. Most of these individuals who are high income earners, they want to have tax write-offs. So they want the depreciation. So they typically want to own the real estate. So for me, I have high income earners that I target, and the way I target them is a lot of events that I go to that have these individual avatars. I go to these events and they're at these events and I collaborate with them, right? So it's
right,
in-person collaboration. I also have, and again, I monetize all my meetups. I meet people at my meetups, which are Subto, top tier TC, and Gator meetups. I have also a lot of high income earners that actually are in the community, but they're not really in the community. Like they bought the mentorship and they don't really use it, but they come to the meetups and they don't really have the time to go out there and curate deals. And I partner with them. Make another example. One of my PMLs right now, I was at Squad Up Summit last week and I met an individual. He met me. Can you hear me?
yep, I can hear you.
Met an individual and he's out of San Diego. He's got $500,000 just sitting in a bank account, not doing anything. Well, guess what? Now he wants to be a PMP with me on deals. So it's a little bit of a mixture of everything. But what I would say is really hone in of what your avatar lender looks like. Is it high income earners? Is it, you can be even more specific than that. It could be families with lazy capital, right? With a working husband who's just making money and the money's just sitting there. Like you can really hone in on what your avatar looks like. So my avatar is probably gonna look different than you, but ask yourself who resonates with you. Are you resonated with doctors and lawyers, or do you like doctors and lawyers? You might not, right? You might say, I hate those guys, right? So that's not gonna be your avatar. So figure out what your avatar investor looks like and then start targeting them. You can start targeting those by going to events that they go to, conventions that they go to. Like make an example. If I'm going to raise capital from, let's say, dentist, I need to know where the next convention is for dentists, and I need to be there. You see what I'm saying? And
Yep,
even if I'm not a dentist, but a lot of deals happen at bars, at the restaurants, at the convention. Like you're meeting people, right? You see what I'm saying? So
Sure.
no one there doesn't know you're a dentist. And even if you say, hey, I'm not a dentist, that's okay. Hey, I came with Bob. He's a fucking dentist. Like, no one, dude, there's thousands of people, right? Ain't no one interrogating you, you know? So going to these type of conventions that where these individuals are, right? You can also host meetups of your ideal client as well. So if you have a blueprint, it sounds like to me, you're like, hey man, I already have a blueprint. I already own 5 properties. I'm doing very well. Well, now you have a blueprint. Now you have this whole SOP in place of how you're scaling your portfolio. Well, now you can put this presentation together and start pitching it and getting people in a room who are your ideal investors. You see, that's also another way. People do it that way as well. So
Interesting.
really, it depends, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Doing Zooms like this, I can pitch a deal in a Zoom. So
Sure. Okay. I appreciate that.
yeah, man. If you could, man, follow me and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Real Javier Paredes,
Okay.
to help me out, brother. And
Yeah, I can do that. You on IG at all?
yeah, The Real Javier Paredes. Hit me up there. And then you're in Orlando?
Yep.
Nice. Just so you know,
Uh-huh.
I am a buyer. I buy a lot of real estate. So if you end up coming across a deal in the Orlando area, since you're prospecting here and you don't want it, please hit me up. I'll look at it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My
Here, hold
buying.
on. Let me I'll give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Real Javier Paredes. There you are. I see you. Cool. I just sent you a friend a follow. Would appreciate the same.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I just got you right here.
Awesome.
Yeah, brother. But yeah, let me know. Keep me posted, and hopefully I get to see you on the other side in the community Zooms and everything we're doing, bro. Let's keep collaborating. Again, it's not a master, it's a community. It's a big difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much,
All right,
man.
brother. I'll see you, man. I'll see you around, man. Tell Ann thank you so much. She actually came to one of my walkthroughs this week. So
Oh, nice. Yeah. Are you going to be at this meetup?
yeah, that's my meetup. I host that. That's mine.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll be there. I'll meet you there.
Okay, cool. Sounds good, bro. I'll see you there.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, brother. Let me know. Keep me posted.